In this video, we're going to talk about what you'll be learning throughout this course. So we'll start with a discussion on what enterprise web apps are, and from there we'll move into a discussion of the course objectives, and finally we'll take a look at the software stack that you're going to be using in this course. So if you're working for a company, whether it be a large corporation or a scrappy startup, you probably want to build an enterprise web app for your company. But what actually defines an enterprise web app? Well, from my research, I found that there are many different types of enterprise web apps, but there are at least 3 attributes that most of them share. I think it's worth looking at some of these attributes so we know what kind of tools and techniques we'll need to satisfy the requirement of an enterprise web app. So the first thing is that enterprise web apps are normally created to fulfill a business or organizational purpose. So this implies that they need to be reliable, which means testing will be an important factor. It also implies that the app will probably be data-driven, so it's likely to have a full-stack architecture with a back-end and database in addition to the UI. The users of enterprise web apps are often customers of the business. This means the app needs to have a user-friendly interface, but it also means the app will probably need to identify the customer, implying that you'll need to have some sort of authentication system. Finally, an enterprise web app will probably be around for several years because most companies aren't in a habit of making things that they don't intend to get use out of. So this implies that you'll need to be able to add features to your enterprise web app and upgrade it periodically. So the app will need a modular structure that can be easily added to, as well as a reliable deployment process. Now we know some of the distinguishing attributes of enterprise apps and the requirements that those attributes imply. Now let's summarize those requirements again. So enterprise apps are data-driven, user-friendly, authenticated, modular, tested, and upgradable. Now the point of this exercise really was to make sure that you're clear on the objective of this course, which is to make you proficient at building view-based web apps that satisfy those requirements. The next logical step is to ensure that we're working with tools that are capable of delivering on the requirements we've just discussed. Now there are obviously many combinations of both back-end and front-end frameworks, databases, development tools, etc., that we could use to make a really great enterprise web app. But I've used my discretion, along with the opinion of many Vue developers who I've surveyed in the past, to choose the following set of tools. So our client app will be a single-page Vue.js app with Vuetify UI elements. The back-end API will be Node.js with the Express framework. We'll use MongoDB for data storage software, and the Mongoose ORM will help us to simplify our CRUD commands. For our client tests, we're going to use Jest along with Vue test utils. We'll use Mocha for API unit tests. For end-to-end tests, which are the browser automation tests, we're going to use the Nightwatch framework. Circle CI will be the platform we use to host our deployment pipeline. And lastly, we'll use Heroku to provide cloud hosting. We'll also be using a variety of other development tools like Vue CLI 3, Postman, ESLint, a variety of Vue plugins like Vue Auth and Vulidate, and many others that we're going to address as we get to them. Now what I like about this stack is that it nicely combines the cutting edge with the tried and true. And it's also nice to know that all these tools are either open source or can be used free for personal use. So if you aren't familiar with some or all of these tools already, don't worry, as you'll have the next 100 or so videos to get acquainted with them. And on that note, in the next video, we're going to see a demo of the app that we'll be building with this dream stack.